and welcome to the Around the Table podcast with Pastors Matt Smith and Nick Decker.
This podcast is all about the ministry and preaching of Lebanon Baptist Church in Greensboro, North Carolina. The goal is to help you grow in your faith and spiritual walk with the Lord every single day of your life.
To learn more about Lebanon Baptist Church, visit lbcnow.org. And now your hosts, Matt Smith and Nick Decker.
Hey, Lebanon Baptist Church. Usually we sit down each week on Around the Table and we discuss the sermon or some upcoming events or interview somebody. Well, this past week we decided to take a break, and so that's why you didn't receive an email on Wednesday because just with everything going on, we decided maybe it'd be good to just rest for a week and we'll start back. Well, next week we're going to jump back into Around the Table and discuss Pastor Matt's new sermon series called iWitness. We're going through the book of Acts starting this Sunday. And Pastor Matt will share a little bit more about what he's been learning, as well as encourage and challenge us to become better witnesses to those in our community and those around us each day. And so the book of Acts really teaches us how the early church evangelized and how it grew to eventually reach, again, where we are today. We wouldn't know Jesus Christ if it wasn't for the influence of the early church, those early Christians who came to know Jesus Christ in Acts. And so we're excited about that study. What I want to do is in the next 5-10 minutes, I want to share my heart with you about pray for a player. You probably received an email this past week, I think on Monday, encouraging you to watch a quick video and then asking you to sign up for Pray for a Player. I shared the what and the why behind Pray for a Player here. Why do we do it? And then how do you go about doing it? What is involved in Pray for a Player? Well, after that, I had about 3 people sign up for Pray for a Player. And that really hurt my heart because I really believe that God can use this outreach initiative. And I know some of you may be thinking, well, Pastor Nick, I'm going to pick it up on Sunday, or I'm going to pick it up, the next time I'm at church. And that's totally fine. If you're planning on doing that, that's great. But for most of you, or maybe some of you, I should say, probably just ignore the video altogether. And I could understand that. You either didn't watch it, or for others, evangelism may not be that important to you. And you can find other things and other people to talk about. And what's sad is a lot of people today would rather talk about other things and talk about the temporal pleasures of this world instead of spending time investing in eternity. I'm not saying that's you. Either you're listening to this or watching this. I'm not saying that by no means. But what I am saying is that I really believe Pray for a Player. God can use this in a great way to see our community come to know Jesus Christ. And so I'm just going to take a few minutes and share with you my heart behind it, the passion I have for it, and why I think it's so important that our community comes to know Jesus Christ, and why I think it's so important that Pray for a Player can be used by God to see our community come to know Him. Just this past week, I was reading in the book of Acts chapter 8, in my devotions. And if you know anything about the book of Acts, the early church, again, like I said, started, and then they went through a time of persecution. Well, as a result of persecution, the Bible says they began to scatter, right? They began to go to other places. They couldn't live where they were. They had to leave Jerusalem and go to other places because the persecution was so great. But listen to Acts. I thought this, Acts 8:1-4, I thought it was so good. It says this: "Now those who were scattered," again, as a result of persecution, "went about preaching the word wherever they went." Now, is that something that describes you? Do you teach? Do you proclaim? Do you let the gospel be known everywhere you go? Even though they were going through persecution, right? Even though they were struggling, they still decided to spread the good news. And this week, and for the next few weeks, actually, you and I have a great opportunity to spread the gospel, especially those who come on our campus through upward basketball and cheerleading. Now, I know not all of you are extroverts, right? I'm an extrovert, but my wife, she's an introvert, right? And so I understand that. Well, here's the deal. We've set up Pray for a Player to actually help those, regardless of where you're at in life. 80% of it is simply you sending a text or an email and spending time in prayer. About 20% of it, we're asking you to get to know the person, whether at the ball game, that you attend, hopefully, to meet the parents and meet the player, or it also includes you coming on Sunday morning when you invite them for Upward Sunday on March 21st and helping them around the campus. And so if you're not familiar with Pray for a Player, I've included the link there in the description. I'd go ahead and watch that real quick so you're familiar with it. It's the video I sent out on Monday. It explains everything we do as a church and what Pray for a Player is all about. And so even if you're extroverted, introverted, whatever, this outreach opportunity is for you. And I really believe that for many reasons. We're asking you to develop relationships. That's really the main goal behind it. The main theme of all of this is to take what we do on Sunday morning and show it to those who may not step foot into a church building. Now, they'll come to a gym, they'll come watch their kids play, but they may not step foot in a church building on Sunday morning. And so we want to get our people outside of the building and into the community. And we really believe Pray for a Player can do that, because we're asking you, again, to develop relationships with those in Upward. And then on March 21st, invite them. We call it the big ask. Invite them to come to church for Upward Sunday. Sit with them, help them around campus, make sure they're as comfortable as possible. This year we have about 145 kids in the program who don't know Jesus Christ, right? They indicated, again, that they were unchurched. Now, again, some of those may know Christ. We're not saying everybody does, but we're assuming some of those don't know Jesus Christ. And so we really believe this is a great opportunity. 148 of them unchurched, and you get the opportunity to invest time to see these people come to know Jesus Christ. It's a huge chance for you and me to spread the love of Jesus Christ. So let me ask you, why would you not want to do that, right? Why would you not want to invest some time this season by sending a few texts, sending a few emails, sending a gift card in the mail, and sending just an invitation to church? Why would you not want to do that, right? It's because sometimes so many of us become so focused on ourselves or so focused on everything we're doing that we miss the opportunity that God has laid in front of us. See, I really believe Pray for a Player, what it does is it accomplishes what we call relational or missional evangelism. And that's a big term that some of you may not be familiar with, and that's okay, because I want to explain it to you. What I mean by this, relational or missional evangelism, I mean this. You and I may not talk about Christ explicitly when we practice relational or missional evangelism with the person we are trying to witness to, yet we are always seeking to demonstrate a changed life. In other words, we are seeking to demonstrate that Jesus Christ has changed our lives, and we want Jesus Christ to change the person's life we're trying to witness to. You see, missional or relational evangelism means we will build relationships with others who do not know Christ to love them to Him. You see, you're doing different things by involving yourself in Pray for a Player. You're doing different things to love people to Jesus Christ, right? Who else would spend their time doing what we do? We do it because we want to see people saved. The problem, though, is I see so many people in church saying either the pastoral staff will take care of it, right? Everything should be relegated to the pastoral staff, or I just see people who are apathetic. They don't really care about the gospel of Jesus Christ. And I really don't know if the gospel of Jesus Christ has changed their lives, right? If you're apathetic about salvation, if you're apathetic about seeing people come to know Jesus Christ, I really don't know if you know Jesus Christ, right? Because if you know Jesus, you will be impacted by that, and you'll want to share it with other people. And so I really believe Pray for a Player can accomplish that in your life. You see, we live in a society, right, where people today are in a post-Christian society, a post-religious society. And what I mean by that is there are people in the United States today, regardless of what you think, who do not know who Jesus is. They do not know the gospel. They've never heard those terms before. It's not that they're against the church. It's just that they don't even know what the church is all about, right? We live in that post-Christian society. And many people think, well, these big events will accomplish this, right? These crusades, these revivals, yes, they worked years ago, right? But they don't work today because people are so closed-minded about things that have to do with church. They're not against it. They just don't know what it's about because they grew up and they're growing up in a post-Christian society. Listen to what Aubrey Malphur says, a leading Christian today. He said, essentially, what was a churched Christian culture has become an unchurched post-Christian culture. People in our culture are not anti-church. They simply view the church as irrelevant to their lives. Why? Because Christians have not invested personal relationships with people who are unsaved. And guess what? As a church today, we're giving you the chance to do that through our Upward program. People are coming onto our campus. When was the last time you knew somebody paid who didn't know Jesus Christ, paid to literally go to church, right? That's what they're doing through Upward. They're paying us to put on a sports league so that ultimately, not that we can provide a great Saturday experience for their kids. Yes, we're trying to do that. Yes, we do that. We invest a lot of time in that. But we ultimately do it so these people can come to know Jesus Christ. And so I want to encourage you today, will you consider signing up for Pray for a Player? You can do that many ways. You can stop by the table in the lobby for the next 2 Sundays, or you can visit the link that's found in the description of this video. I really believe God can use this in a great way. The bottom line is people are looking for relationships. They're looking for community. And there are people coming onto our campus on Saturday during the day and Friday evening to watch their kids play. And we have a huge chance to see these people come to know Jesus Christ. I don't know about you, but that really is a burden on my heart. I don't want to see people come through Lebanon Baptist Church, whether that's through a ministry, an outreach opportunity, whatever, and not hear about Jesus Christ. And so I'm encouraging you right now, get on the team. Get off the sidelines, jump in the game, and sign up for Pray for a Player. I really believe God can use this in a great way. Again, you can visit the link in the description or stop by the table. We have about 130 players that still need to be adopted, and so it's an easy way, again, to share Christ with somebody. And then on March 21st, again, is Upward Sunday. We'll encourage everybody to invite your player and his or her family to Upward Sunday, where they'll get a free meal, they'll get to hear the gospel, and also, hopefully, Lord willing, they'll become a part of our church. We'd love to see that, and that's why another reason we do this. So let me encourage you to do that. If you have questions, feel free to reach out. As always, our podcast is sponsored by Lebanon Baptist Church here in Greensboro, North Carolina. If you're not a member here, a regular attender, we'd love to have you. Visit with us to find out more about Lebanon. Visit lbcnow.org. We worship on Sunday mornings. Again, if you're not a part of a church, let me encourage you to join us at 9:30 a.m. or 11 a.m. Our live stream service is at 9:30, both on our Facebook and YouTube channel. Again, for more information, visit our website. Thank you so much for watching this, and we hope that you have a great day.
Thanks for joining us for Around the Table, a discussion all about the ministry and preaching of Lebanon Baptist Church.
If you would like to learn more about Lebanon Baptist Church, visit lbcnow.org. Make sure to follow Lebanon Baptist Church on Facebook and Instagram, as well as subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes, Google Play,
or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Thank you for listening.